Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Kelton, he, him, and a happy National Roast Chestnuts Day to everyone listening. It's a most special of holidays. It's Christmas celebration. As a parent to a child with a tree allergy, this is our worst nightmare come to life. This is the time where the weak genetics are being culled. So we have to quarantine our child for fear of the Christmas posse coming around. Shoving it down our throats is what I'm going to say. But joining us this week, we have Phil on. Hey, Phil, how is it going, sir?
It's going pretty okay so far.
Good. I mean, we were talking a little bit before we actually started recording about how you're becoming the monopoly man, just building on real estate developments, and then also, just the fact of learning to code, kids. It's important. That's the thing.
It really, really is.
When are you going to go to the Rust Belt and start trying to convince 85-year-old miners in coal towns that that's what they need to do? Just start streaming on Twitch, Grandpa.
Yeah, no, they don't probably wouldn't like too much of what it is that we actually do. Both of my
Put
grandfathers
on the cat ears, Grandpa. Do it now.
Both of my grandfathers before they passed asked me one day, like independently, just like, and so when do you actually work? It's like,
Thanks. Wow.
Mental and emotional labor is a real thing, Grandpa.
So what's it feel like to be in a job that will soon become fully automated within 15 years? Oh, God. No, please.
I don't know. What was it like?
Christ. Well, Zach, how's your week been?
I've done so much work this week that my eyes are bleeding. If my fingers could bleed from typing too much and weren't calloused already, then they would be doing so. Because, I have a real job that also can't be automated away.
I was going to say, does the keyboard, did you get like special resistance keys where like each press gives you a little bit more resistance than usual?
You can get up to 120 gram key switches in your custom keyboards. So, I got my little squeezy grip trainer. I got my little one that goes on the band that goes around your fingers and you open your fingers up for grip training. And I have the keyboard grip trainer now, so and let me pull out it's supposed to be for biceps, but this is actually to measure how big around my thumbs are now.
I see.
Pushing a combined 300 grams on that space bar.
You're like Hulk Hogan asking people to check out these pythons, but also while you code Python.
Check out this Python. I seriously, brother, there's an error in here, brother. Brother, I changed the sensitivity, and now I got 7 now. Brother, can you help me recast this variable?
Honestly, the idea of like
in Python, brother.
80s era Hulk Hogan who's desperately trying to learn to code would be fantastic. Just beyond yoked, balding with the bleach blonde hair.
These are 300 gram switches.
Coming off of the set of Mr. Mom to then try and get those hours in, Just
after all the YAML I've done, I would definitely be crying like Hulk Hogan, trying to fucking just pecking at the keyboard one finger at a time, hunting for what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say crying like Hulk Hogan when he found out that, black people have rights, but, that works too.
It did seem to upset him.
It very, very much did. Turns out when someone is playing the heel, once he gets old, maybe just might be his real world opinions leaking through the veil that exists beyond kayfabe. But I see, by the way, Phil, that you mentioned here in the docket that we have, which thank you. First guest in a while to actually contribute something to the docket, really raising the standard from the floor to just about an inch and a half off the floor to where like our foundation is no longer level. Is my point. Everything's about to come crumbling down.
I don't want to talk about that.
But you have just an update from your state, and you have also just an amazing article here talking about what I'm going to call the Texification of the Midwest, or maybe Texas is becoming the Midwest. We can explore that element a little bit here. But what's going on with good old Joshy boy?
Well, the first thing I have to point out is I have to mention to you that it's actually not the Texification of Missouri. It's Missouri's leading the way here. Missouri, I mean, to be fair here, Texas did used to be part of Missouri, so you're welcome.
Oh boy, let's start the strong
claim.
opening
You were
line.
both better than us, and you were us. So, okay, all right.
It's okay.
I don't know
Again,
if leading the way necessarily in this regard would be what I call better, but it's oh, the GOP is dead. Long live the GOP, says Senator Josh Hawley. Our buddy here, who, if I'm not mistaken, is not actually from Missouri.
mm-hmm.
Famously on video running away from a well-ordered tour group entering the Capitol building a couple of years ago after a spirited rally.
That was less than 2 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah. God, time flies. It's so crazy, like how your brain just forgets insurrection that happens. You're like,
Yeah,
let bygones be bygones already. Come on.
it has been a wild.
They were just
Decade.
they were doing outreach, okay?
Yeah. Outreach right into Nancy Pelosi's desk, apparently. So, be prepared, everyone. Here comes the Show Me State. I'm going to show you the way. The old Republican Party is dead. It has been wasting away for years now, and this month's midterm results are the finishing blow. If Republicans learn nothing else from this election, they must learn that much. As frustrating as the election outcomes are, the death of the old GOP is no reason to mourn. It just means that it's time for Republicans to forge something new, a party that truly represents the cultural backbone of this nation, America's working people.
All right. I like where he's going right now. That's right.
There's a
power to the workers indeed, Josh Hawley. This will not take a turn at any moment, I'm sure.
not a one.
We definitely agree on who the working people are. That's right.
Many Republicans are primed to learn all the wrong reasons from this cycle. Over the past week, we've heard this election is about nothing more than candidate quality or turnout operations. Wrong. The problem isn't principally tactics. The problem is the substance. For the past 2 years, the Republican establishment in Washington has capitulated on issue after issue, caving to Democrats on the Second Amendment and the left's radical climate agenda. Infrastructure. Which this all kind of plays to the usual right-wing and Republican kind of talking points.
Yeah, it's not important unless we're talking about it.
Right.
So
It's scary roads.
Yeah. Roads. I really hate when I breathe and don't immediately just like black out from whatever it was that I inhaled.
Those were the days, weren't they?
Lead.
Back when I could do drugs without.
what?
Damn, what are y'all doing in Missouri?
Well, that's a funny story. I mean, we have a flaming nuclear waste dump in St. Louis.
You have a Pasadena too?
Oh, and we have another one just out west of where I live that they put a big tourist attraction on top of so you can go climb on a big mountain covering radioactive waste.
Oh, hell yeah.
Perfect.
My phone, I was taking a video the whole time that got really fuzzy at the top, but it was fine.
I got to the bottom. I had this weird sunburn. All on the bottoms of my feet.
I really do think that people would, like, I don't know, 40 years ago have made that a tourist destination. Like, it's great, Barbara. You can roll down the hill and you come back with a tan. It's the greatest place in the world.
Yeah. Then that's all just a few miles north of Missouri's famous lead mines. That you can go and slide down the chaff on the hillside. I wish I was making these things up. So this seems
Again,
less scary.
this is
now.
the Missourian is claiming to be ahead of Texas. Like, Texas is a house of horrors. Don't get me wrong.
You are
but-
ahead of us. You are ahead of
Several
us.
heads at
by
once.
several. Yes.
Just all on the same shoulder.
Yeah, by several parts per million. At least a few.
I got stories. Now here's where this starts to get interesting. These Republican politicians signed. This gets interesting when I can't talk. These Republican politicians sided with Big Pharma on insulin and advocated lowering tariffs on our competitors overseas. Then they wonder why working class independents have little enthusiasm about voting Republican.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sided
Interesting.
with them on insulin.
Interesting.
I'm listening. I'm listening, Josh.
got some-
You're starting to get on some shaky territory when you're talking about tariffs
I mean,
on
went-
foreign countries, but
I mean,
know.
it's kind of a shift to think about, like the American right wing saying, "Hey, you know what sucks? Free trade." Like, okay, I'm at least interested to hear what else you have to say. Well, maybe. For decades, Republican politicians have sung a familiar tune. On economics, they have cut taxes on the big corporations and talked about changing Social Security and Medicare. George W. Bush even tried to partially privatize Social Security in 2005. In the name of growth, these same Republicans have supported ruinous trade policies, such as admitting China to the World Trade Organization, that have collapsed American industry and driven down the American wage.
Did you know there's like 2 factories in the world that make every computer chip that drives every innovation in
Yeah.
America? Like, if we expect to be a goddamn software country, we better start
Yeah.
fucking acting like it.
Governor Hee-Haw here in Missouri has actually
Soft.
put several $1,000,000 into some of our existing chip manufacturers to help them rebuild, and I was kind of surprised. It's just going to take
Only
forever
million?
to update.
Only
I
million.
don't remember the actual number. It might have been a couple of billion. We don't have that big a budget here. Wait,
I mean,
Texas.
billion is a billion is about billion is about like what it takes. Like TSMC is building a fucking like a $9 trillion factory because it takes
God.
literally state of the art. Like the 9 people that know how to make computer chips in the world are not allowed to be within 500 miles of each other because
It's kind of
We
it's
can't
the
lose.
worst conferences.
they're all video conferencing in.
I got one conference to go to. It's in ballroom A, and the other one is in that last cell on Excel.
Jesus Christ. God.
This is good. This
sorry.
is good. This
I'm
is
sorry.
very good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we collapsed American industry by the fact that other chip manufacturers built their factories like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's definitely allowing them. The WTO did
Yeah, and
that.
We're
I'm
not
sorry.
playing catch-up. You're playing catch up.
And
You're
This
playing
message
catch-up.
brought to you by Heinz Ketchup.
Thank you.
but not that other Heinz. Yeah. But yeah, like the amount of money that we could, if let's assume we just dumped $1 trillion into it. It's not like it's going to pick up next year. That takes a long time to get that built up.
AMD has been working for like 10 years, and they started from like having great contracts and great engineers and everything already
Yeah.
built. It's taken them like 10 years to get their Ryzen series competitive with Intel and get their Radeon series competitive with Nvidia. Like,
So he
Yes. sorry. Please. it's just like, and we are behind the 8 ball. It
Yep.
is very bad.
it's like,
Yes.
it's like, oh, we got the a Republican that wants to talk about why we shouldn't tax we should tax big corporations, and we need social safety nets like Social Security and Medicare. and privatization is bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have me in the first half. Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
really interested to see what happens because they're woke. Because
It
they
gets even weirder.
nice,
This
good.
boy.
this tax and trade agenda has hollowed out too many American towns by shipping jobs overseas. It has made it almost impossible to raise a family on one income and to find a good paying job that doesn't require a college degree. These are still kind of true, but now we're starting to venture into somewhat, trad territory. Our trade
Okay.
deficit
Yeah,
with China has
and there aren't enough Catholics out here.
Oh,
Another thing.
not here in Missouri. We got like 9. This is Methodist country, buddy. And I heard that last
Fine.
episode.
9 Catholics? I changed my opinion. There are too many Catholics in Missouri.
He doesn't mention how the U.S. doesn't need to implement a one-child policy when they already have wages this low. Then,
Zach, please don't give people ideas with these things. You keep being like, wouldn't it be crazy if? And then like the fact that you speak it into existence is like 1 out of every 4, but it's never like what if ice cream was free every day? Like
Yeah,
that's not one
the
of the
one
4 that comes true. So until we get that channeling power down
Yeah.
a little bit more
You're
refined.
you're gonna need to get a bigger bump on those rolls. So he also adds, with also a crisis, a crisis of drug overdose deaths, particularly among working Americans, has ravaged many of the same communities that have suffered most from deindustrialization. It has all made it harder to stay rooted in your hometown or region. That's not a record of success. Continues to cry about sentencing reform, big tech bad, just in general.
Yeah.
Republicans will secure the generational victories they crave only when they come to terms with this reality. They must convince a critical mass of working class voters that the GOP truly represents their interest and protects their culture. Republicans must win these voters. We will not be a majority without them. That means waking up to what they care about. Work, family, and culture are the touchstones of meaning for working people across the country.
We really fucked up as a country when we started to include a job as a dream, right? like
Yeah.
like what's your dream house? What's your dream, partner? If you want a partner, like what's your dream pet? Like those are much more quaint. But like, what's your dream job becomes like instilled with a sense of morality then to anyone not. Sorry. Just it's interesting to look into the psyche of this kind of an individual.
Oh yeah.
And also, like, what does he consider a fucking, like, oh, you can't stay in your your homes, you can't stay in your hometown or your region.
There's nothing
like,
there's nothing in Festus, buddy. Like, what are they gonna do?
If you zoom out a little bit on Missouri, there's 4 cities. There's Kansas City, there's St. Louis, there's Columbia, and there's Springfield.
I'm glad you're speaking for
now
the.
you are absolutely forgetting the Heartland Disney World. That is
Branson?
Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Let me tell you, you have not
Heartland Disney
enjoyed a
World is
live
kind
show
of fucking brutal.
until you have gone and watched The Passion of the Christ performed on stage,
Oh
which
my
is exactly
God.
what I watched as part of my confirmation classes when I was younger.
This is good. This is
Fortunately,
normal. No,
my
no,
grandparents-
no psychic damage from that, right?
My grandparents didn't take me to the Passion of the Christ one, but I feel like that would have stuck with me for a little too long.
There's nothing like watching like real people what look like they're really well done stage shows, high quality, high lots of big budget stuff, so it looks really, really horrifying to watch people just pound nails through a guy's wrists on stage in front of a 20,000 person audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not forgetting that.
Wow.
That was,
Yeah.
and like with a smoke machine and lasers, so it's like I'm there.
why did they end up building that? Remember they built that the big ark, Noah's Ark thing. I feel like with how like Christian like super Protestant adjacent all those Branson shows are, like they should have just built the ark there.
Yeah, probably.
Should they?
They got Yakov Smirnoff.
No,
He's got a giant head, like literally a giant head of Yakov Smirnoff.
Just the guy who's like, yes, finally. Someone will drink, teenagers will drink cheap malt liquor in my name. Perfect. Yes, this is what I want. That's
what I want.
That's what Smirnoff's cultural legacy is in my head.
There was a,
so
I got to drive one of the duck boats in Branson. And you might be like,
No.
oh, when you were a little kid? No, I was 24.
just a boy.
And,
If you had committed a hate crime, you would have been just a child.
The funny thing is, this part's not funny. A number of years ago, one of them flipped over, and people died. So that's terrible. And I sent a message to my mom because my mom was the one I went with to Branson. She wanted to go on a trip, and I was driving. I said something to her. I don't remember what the message was before that, but I sent to her, did you see what happened with the duck boats in Branson? And the response I got that came immediately was responding to something I'd said earlier, but the words in my screen popped up with, it should have been you.
Jesus Christ.
Good timing, Mom. Thank you for that one.
Yeah, thanks. What the fuck?
And then she was like, "Oh, calling me immediately. Like that's not what I meant." But the timing.
How dare you put the words in my mouth like
The
that?
timing was great. It was just like, love you too, Mom. That's fun.
You're the best, Ma. Thank you.
So,
Jeez. Well, thanks, Senator Hawley, for really explaining to us exactly what the working class is and what they do and what they want, and definitely not just like a weirdo bid to find the the middle class, big scare quotes, middle class voters in Missouri and what they really feel like is important.
Then the question is, what are the solutions? Here at the bottom, I'm going to skip some more here because he just kind of reiterates this.
Kill them all.
First off, we need to move the Department of Energy and the Department of the Interior to Missouri, apparently. Interior and Agriculture needs to be moved to Middle America.
You love that aspect. You're like, no. This isn't to benefit me in any way.
Yeah, this is
I just think you should go to Missouri.
For President Hawley to not have to leave his house.
If there is one state that people think of when it comes to energy generation, it's Missouri. It's not California, and it's not Tejas. It's Missouri, or Missouri, if you want to be an asshole, I guess. So,
hey, we got that Callaway plant running. Our 1 something or other gigawatt plant. Last I heard,
I was about to say, is that the thing like that's being clung to right now? Like,
the only good thing I want is that he says that he wants to bust up monopolies such as Google. Somehow
broken clocks. Man.
Doesn't believe in any big government anything except for antitrust.
Oh, he's got one more big government program here. We need explicit support in our tax code for marriage and family, such as a parent tax credit for working families. We should adopt new protections for parents to ensure they control their children's education and medical care, such as a parent's bill of rights. And families can't thrive unless they are safe. That's why we need 100,000 new police officers on the streets spread across every state in America.
You can't hurt me. This has been the drumbeat of the Texas Republican Party for like 6 years now.
They want 100,000 new officers in Texas. So
I've been
That's
reading.
the only way.
So, nationalism.
Yeah.
A little bit of socialism. A lot of police. I don't see how this goes bad.
With all those police to enforce the Parents' Bill of Rights, which is making sure that no matter how rebellious your teenager is, the federal government will let them know very quickly that they don't have rights. Only the parents have rights.
Yeah.
But if I don't have rights, what will my children have? Huh? They'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We haven't thought about this policy well enough, but everything will be fine.
I think Josh Hawley's going to be someone to watch going forward because he's the kind of guy who makes crazy, like fringe opinions and positions sound palatable and even somewhat reasonable in certain circumstances. You just have to like read like the whole thing and not. He's like, time to break up Google. Oh, I support that. Let's vote for this guy. Wait.
The intro and the outro are both like actually really good snippets, and like he presents like a very cool plan. But then you read any of the specifics of his plan, much like my work documentation, you dig into it a little bit. You're like, huh, why is that there?
I've read this before somewhere.
Would you care to explain why exactly your goal is to encrypt everything, but then you don't know how that works? Okay, cool.
Suddenly, Josh Hawley is
it's
really
a good
in favor
buzzword.
of lots of trains. It's weird.
He wants good jobs and good lives, and somewhere in there,
good
he said
lives,
he wants to.
Good vibes. Hawley 2024.
But then he goes on to say that he wants to take all the union workers out back and shoot them in the face.
Uh-huh. Can't
So
blame
how
a guy for trying, you know?
This here's Missouri.
It's because they're a bunch of liberals, but he means that like in like the Soviet way.
I think he means that in a southern way.
6 of the 12 DSA chapters in Missouri have endorsed Josh Hawley. We're not sure if they read past the intro either, but
The DSA.
Josh Hawley has earned the. Sorry.
You ever gone to a DSA?
Josh Hawley has earned rousing endorsements from 7 of the 9 circles of hell. It's amazing.
Coldest one in particular. They really want that gas energy kicked on. Guys up top are just like, be careful what you wish.
look, any of these weirdo senators or governors from small backwards ass states that don't even have a fucking mega city in them could just say, look, we're gonna take like all this shitty land that we don't do anything on, and we're gonna build like 6 nuclear reactors out there, and they'd automatically be cooler than any other governor.
It's like, Missouri is such a weird state because when you put things up to the legislature, you get nothing. But Missouri voters recently legalized marijuana. As of about 5 days ago, I can be in possession of up to 3 ounces for myself at any given time.
Hell yeah, personal use of a day.
Yeah,
that's right.
Amusingly enough, you still can't buy it legally because the December 8th was also the first day that dispensaries could apply for a license to sell. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was communist China again.
I thought this was America. Better. It's
Yeah, we need a
Missouri.
business's bill of rights, okay?
Yeah.
Forget a parent's bill of rights. What about the business's bill of rights? Businesses are people too.
Businesses are people
Josh
too.
Hawley.
We need higher taxes on big companies. Good. We need lower taxes on small individuals. Oh, I agree with that. And we need to make sure that those taxes are going to fund the 85,000 new police officers we have enforcing the morality code. Oh man.
You were this close to being cool, and then by this close, I want people to imagine my hands being like, much like the Jesus that was crucified in dramatized film.
He's crucified 4 times a day in Branson, Missouri, okay?
Twice on Sunday.
Oh, God.
Jesus is like, I gotta get better gigs. This is some bullshit. Like, I can't be
The
doing
best part of
this.
that show was when everybody booed the guy that played Satan.
Sorry, that's the stupidest thing in the world. Yeah, I'm Satan. Boo. As opposed to what?
The guy looks at the audience and does this best giant gesture of what?
What did I do? It gets really weird when, Satan puts his knee on Jesus's neck and says, "Stop resisting," over and over again. So,
at least in the Prestige, I really believed that Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale were like the biggest stage magicians in the entire earth at that point.
yeah.
Whereas if you're in Branson, Missouri, and you're Jesus, and you're doing your early 20s thing, and you're just doing resurrections on the reg, and nobody really appreciates it, it's you kind of lose the you lose the cool factor of being the Son of God.
People stop showing up. Yeah, the allure of it tends to disappear just a bit.
Branson is the site of certainly many unholy miracles while Jesus is practicing for the third coming. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The third orgasm.
I was gonna say I've been told that's the special one.
Yeah.
Related.
I much like it was talked about in the Evangelion movies. The third orgasm is the special one. So let's do some D&D the news. We're taking you this week during our D&D segment, our psychic dolphins and dungeons. We're going to the Rockies. We're going to be in Colorado. Specifically, we're going to be. I have 2 characters prepared for y'all, and these characters are ballot counters during the recent recounts of Lauren Boebert's. During Lauren Boebert's re-election, it came down to, I believe, 300 votes.
300.
Cool.
Every one of those
Spartans!
Every one of those Bobert voters thinks that they look like the guys from the movie.
Absolutely, yeah. And
I mean, they look like one of the guys from the movie. That's for sure.
So one of you is going to be a Democrat ballot counter. One of you is going to be a Republican.
Dibs on Republican.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Show privilege. Yes, I must pretend. Twirl my
just for that, I'm
mustache.
getting my cowboy hat.
Let's go. All right.
I'll tell you what.
And because Colorado is so weirdo reactionary. In this fictional universe, there are no digital election machines anymore. There's nothing that's automatically counting all the votes that have been cast. I don't know, it's like we made computers that could do math really fast, but then we got angry at them because they could do that math really fast. Kelton, you have never been happier to be pulling paper ballots out of a box and counting them one by one.
Walking on sunshine. Whoa.
Kelton, will you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Okay. Using a D20.
Using a D20.
Fucking 2.
Nice. God damn. Already.
I'm so tired. How many have I counted? 3? God. Ooh.
You have just...
There's so many candidates. Too many candidates.
The biggest joint that you have rolled in preparation for this, of course.
And I thought I was a Republican.
Yeah, but you're Colorado.
It's Colorado.
Republican.
Okay.
Let me tell you, Missouri Republican's going to be token up. Guarantee it.
You know what I tell you what?
Can't wait for that.
The bragging of what's going to be better off. But yes, okay. I'm a Colorado Republican. Got it. I understand.
You only get a +1 to con saving throws. So you've counted. How many ballots have you counted?
I'm at 3 right now.
You're at 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I figure by rolling a 2, I've made some progress, but I just was really going through and be like, man, I thought I was just going to be doing 6 races. And that was it, but
remember you have to take the roll sheet and then the sheet of people that actually showed up and cross reference it and then find their ballot to make sure that's a real vote that's being cast.
Yeah, it'd be Gladys the Laureate. Yeah, that sounds right. Joe Johnson.
18 Joe Johnsons.
Husband to Shoshana Johnson. I think we just need to confirm the signature on this one. Just, need to double check for posterity. Gotta be sure on this. Wow, the character sheet is here.
Hell yeah. A 2 on a Constitution saving throw. You have never been this stoned in your life, and you really want Lauren Boebert to win.
I feel it in my bones.
She's got this.
Yes, in my brittle, elderly AARP bones. My segregation was still not only allowed but encouraged when I was born. Bones. Yeah, that.
Phil, you are the Democrat counter. I don't know what Colorado Democrats would have, like also a joint, I guess, or like really nice wine.
I feel like the Colorado Democrats are actually nearly Tradcath. And I say this because every Democrat I know from Colorado is Catholic.
Okay, all right.
And also anti-vax.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Cool.
You're a super, like, nearly Tradcath. I don't think you could lie if you wanted to.
Which works really great with the gay orc character I picked up.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Hold on. Everyone picture...
Should I play it as the Catholic or the gay orc? That's the...
I mean, be the Catholic gay orc, I think, is the answer. But have, like, sugar around the rim of a skull martini. Like, that's the kind of vibe that needs to be going off here.
There's a 17.
It's a 17. Yeah, you're in your element. You're sipping on your drink, you're counting them down. Do you want to tell me how many votes you've gotten through, or like you want to roll a D100 and we'll add some zeros to it?
I would love to tell you, but my intelligence is 8.
Oh no. Gotcha. Okay, so you're just like checking it off, and you're doing your best to make sure that the total is like accurate.
I believe
Cool.
I have counted yellow.
It's honestly a miracle that it came to this
so
recount.
Many bubbles empty, just filling them all in.
Remember, y'all are sitting at like big tables across from each other.
Yeah,
and you can yell insults at each other, or stare blankly, praying that the other one doesn't notice how high you are, Kelton.
I also have wisdom 8.
I'll be fine. I'm gonna blame it on like heart medication or something instead. I'm smoking inside. No.
Yes, our sensors smell terrible.
You can make you can make a medicine check to see if the weed like helps you focus a little bit, maybe, or make a dex check to make sure you don't burn some of the ballots. But you only get to make one of these.
Oh, I gotta check the ballots, right? Like that's...
Okay, cool. Dex saving throw.
All right, let's do this. Fucking hell! Rolled a 3.
The rolling is terrible today.
Hold on. Just for anyone wondering, like, if maybe I'm like padding the stats for narrative. I rolled again just to be sure. I rolled a 4, so it's a 2, a 3, and then a 4. Golly gosh, what's the next? 14. Well, fuck you then. Okay.
Google Dice Roller just is really up your ass tonight, huh?
It is. If we were doing Call of Cthulhu, this would be wonderful. But no.
That's right. These are great checks in Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. So you're gonna lose like 10 ballots. Okay. So
do I know which ones, or by rolling the dice, so to speak?
God, you missed your Constitution saving throw earlier. So unfortunately, you have no idea.
Oh my!
So you're up to about 1,500 now.
All right. Well, go with God.
Yep. Phil, what are you interacting with the person across from you counting ballots at all?
I think what I'm doing is I'm going to use the fact that this is a dex based barbarian.
Okay.
I'm going to start adding ballots
I'm in
to
favor of this. I see this and I go, yes.
so
I do not fight this at all.
going to go with my sleight of hand check to add
Mm-hmm.
extra ballots.
Okay.
The 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 thing is I'll let you determine if I've actually filled them out correctly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Make the sleight of hand check. That works for me.
Really shouldn't have been done in
That
crayon.
was a 6. I fell down.
Oh.
Oh, I so clumsy. Dropped all of these pages from Paw Patrol color book.
Again, you filled in a bunch of the bubbles, but I'm not certain you know what the bubbles are. So you're really hosing like all the rest of the local elections just to try and get some more votes against Bobert here. So God, okay. All right, we're at about we're about 200,000 ballots now.
All the way up to
You know,
green.
you've you've had like 6 or 7 like huge like rolling those big rolling carts of ballots that you've both been counting that have been coming in, and we're getting down to the last bit here. Uh, uh, so uh, so Kelton, your character sees a ballot, and as you know, as an upstanding citizen, it looks like this was an early voting ballot, and it looks like, you can't confirm, but it looks like it was mailed before the mail-in ballot date.
What was the mail-in deadline? Like, was this like
Like a week before election
okay?
day.
So we'll say like the 26th,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn that 6 into an 8. So I want to roll for deception, please.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, roll deception.
15.
Let's go. And with 7, is that without the modifier?
That's without the modifier. Yeah. So
Oh, cool. So that's a 22 total.
that's right.
Yeah,
Thousand
you're-
mules up in this bitch. It's
you're-
happening. It's real.
Mules.
Doctoring. You're doctoring these. I'm gonna roll another D100 roll to see how many. You're up 78 votes right now.
Perfect. This is wonderful for me. I'm glad I'm beating the orc with the crayon at the moment.
That's right.
This
All right,
is-
Phil. You also see some early voting ballots that just 3 days out of date. What's your call going to be on these?
I can't tell what dates are, so I just count them. But I have no concept that I'm doing anything wrong. I'm just like, envelope open.
That's totally, that's absolutely how it works. Only 67, so you're still about 12 about 12 votes behind.
This should
I-
not be this close.
I reach across the table and I grab some of Kelton's so that I can because I need to wipe my mouth as I have eaten my crayons.
Make an intimidation roll. Kelton, if you would like to make a wisdom saving throw here, because he's doing something wrong, but he's also
Oh God, it's a 1.
no.
Actually, with modifier, it would be a 0. I have no idea how an 8-foot barbarian, 7. I don't remember how tall I am.
It's the setting. The fluorescent lights really just don't favor.
my pink hair.
As you take some to wipe your mouth, you realize that you took some of his. You better give him some of yours in exchange.
Sorry. Here you go.
I'm calling Dinesh D'Souza right now. I am speed dialing my way.
As soon as he answers the phone, I blow my nose like a Sousa phone, just and hand you that crayon snotted ballot back.
Oh. That's another 12 ballots for Republicans. So you're up. You know, in the fictional universe, you know, Bobert's up at least 24 ballots.
Good. Good in this universe because of me and my character. Yes.
That's right. That's right. You played this so well for Lauren Boebert, and that's because that's who we all would have voted for here on Psychic Dolphin Garage.
MILF superiority, I believe, is what we say.
I forgot to
true,
vote.
That's true. Oh no, the nat one gets deeper. Well, you know, as you end up tallying votes, y'all are comparing. Kelton, your number is bigger, so it looks like you're gonna have to go out and let everyone know that Lauren Boebert. Is there any final actions you're taking? You want to make some cutting words to part ways with?
I ask if the orc would like to be interviewed by a very famous documentarian. I want to roll for persuasion, please.
Sure, by all means.
Ooh, how do I? Oh god, I have to do a wisdom save to resist that. I think, right?
I believe so. Yes.
13.
Okay.
Oh, it fell on the floor. Hold on.
Like a -1 to wisdom saving throw.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
so
On a
mad.
14?
It's a 17.
Yeah.
On a 14.
No, on a 13, so it would be a 12 with the modifier. Right.
Oh, you're doing persuasion.
Oh, okay.
You rolled a 13?
Yeah.
It's a 20 with modifier.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
sorry,
So
sorry.
you literally have to crit. You have to crit. You said you rolled a 17. though?
It's a 17
All right.
with modifier.
Yeah, I know you'd love to go like who is it again? It's Dinesh D'Souza. I'll write it down.
I immediately get my favorite instrument, the D'Souza phone, and answer all questions through it so that he understands me.
I don't understand why you talk this way, but okay.
Seems silly. I'd hate to be culturally insensitive to Mr. D'Souza.
Of course. And that friends is how Lauren Boebert managed to, you know, legally and fairly take the vote away from oh god, what's his name? Adam Frisch. Not Fresh, Frisch.
Woo!
So, R.I.P. Adam. Better luck next year. You know, maybe Kelton will get worse con saves on counting ballots and won't lose as many.
Maybe I can learn to count. And remember to vote.
What is up, beautiful people? It's Zach, and I'm coming to you live from the garage. I wanted to tell you all a secret to improving your deadlift and squat max. The secret is subscribing to our Patreon, like these aesthetic and strong listeners. Scott, Tim, the Warlock Phosphorus, Jorge, Rufus Not a Mole Rat, Eli, Malwin, Dr. Sophia, Tyler, Olive, Lotion Wizard, Lizzie, the Brilliant Dr. Fly, Broobs, ASM Marxist, Dylan, Kiera, Cody, Comrade Kometka, Nicole, Pizza Poss, Drew, CJ, Jacob, Philip, and Alex. Thank you all so much for contributing to the garage, and congrats on your gains. Welcome to the real news section, where we talk about real things that happen to real people.
Real news. Oh, sad.
Real news.
Inappropriate drop based on what you just said.
Yeah.
I apologize. Apologize. I would like to retract my statement.
Said the federal government as they struck down part of Montana's far-reaching anti-vax law that ended up definitely killing people in Montana.
Yes, the repealing killed people, right? Not the actual
law. The law killed people.
I'm sorry that freedom killed people, Zach.
You know, it was not freedom. It was state law interfering in the freedom of a business to operate in Montana.
Of course, yes.
So wait, was the law anti-vax or was the law pro-vax? And the
law was anti-vax.
The law stated it was House Bill 702, and it basically said that it's illegal for employers to ask employees if they are vaccinated.
I believe it's called Cosner's Law off of the Yellowstone thing. That's my assumption of its summary point.
In essence, Montanians
Yeah, yeah.
Montana wanted to make sure that anybody that didn't want to get vaccinated wasn't forced into doing it by their employer, and that their employer couldn't ask if they were vaccinated. This, of course, meant that if you worked in a sensitive environment, such as a hospital or nursing home, you could not be asked if you were vaccinated, and so hospitals could not put you in a place where you would be safe or where you would not spread disease.
Like outside the building at home.
Yes, like not at their work. So they also you also couldn't require vaccinations because you couldn't inquire about them, and so Montana, both experienced a massive amount of patients that had a bunch of COVID, and probably brought back several dead diseases themselves.
That's
hopefully-
good. That's good, right? We're
Postman just
bringing
started
things back.
dancing all night long for like 5 nights in a row.
Exactly. During hearings on the case, immunocompromised patients, people who go to a hospital because a hospital is supposed to be clean and a place where they are treated like their immune system doesn't exist, testified about how routine medical visits had put them at high risk because health facilities could not ensure basic protections. The judge's final decision ensures that Montanans can obtain safe, quality healthcare without arbitrary government interference. And remember, most healthcare facilities in Montana rely heavily on payments from federal agencies and have been under pressure to comply with vaccine mandates from the Biden administration that conflicted with the state law. So not only was the state law preventing those hospitals from getting their main source of revenue, which is federal programs, it also meant that they were that the governmental interference was killing their people. So I'm glad that the government could interfere and stop the governmental interference from interfering with the governance of the governed.
That's what it means, right? Is that, when there's like a vulnerable populace that takes place, we need to try our damnedest to make sure that
Hey,
they get punished.
democracy is about the majority oppressing the minority, not the other way around. Okay? If you're a
That's a
little
republic.
uncomfortable because your immune system, hey, calm down with those big words over there.
Yeah, what are two sheep gonna tell the lion what to do? Huh?
Yeah, lion's only 4 letters. I can spell that.
Shep.
It's the E with the little accente over it. Sheep. Yeah. So thanks, federal judge, for
That is objectively a good thing, I would say.
literally objectively a good thing. And
I'm so glad they
somehow
got to it so quick.
the law passed in 2021.
Moving quickly through
So
outer
that's
space.
About as fast as the government can operate, unfortunately. It's just insane that like people had to die for them to realize that a law was bad. Like that got passed, and then it took a judge to get rid of it. It just the system is broken. The system is broken. At that point, just leave it. Just leave it. Just let all the hospitals die because they can't afford to stay open. What are you gonna do? Charge more money to set broken legs? I don't even. What even happens in Montana? You're frozen inside for 9 months out of the year, right?
Yes.
From
That's exactly
I
what happens
understand
to the
about
people in
Montana,
Montana.
you spend a lot of time standing on a hillside just gazing at scenery. And that's like,
Sweeping drone shots.
yeah.
As far as the eye can see.
Montana's #1 export, sweeping drone shots. Lovely scenery. Can we get some different audio? They keep going past all these coughing people.
Yeah, they're having to do more voiceovers than ever before. Along with all those bad reviews for all the candles that they're trying to sell at the Montana Bath and Body Works.
This gasoline smells like water.
Hell yeah. Kelton, what great news have you brought for our roundup today?
Oh, I just love this country, and I love everything about it. I love the religious freedom that our country has, where we do not infringe on the rights of anyone, so long as they're white and vote conservative, of course.
And probably live in Montana.
Yeah. I mean, that's for sure. That's where a lot of the compounds are, at the very least. But if not in Montana, maybe in Missouri, huh? Let's look into that history, shall we? But no, this story I want to talk about comes from not fun ones, but good ones, like in the success ratio. It's like you got to respect the numbers game aspect.
There's one
not
thing
really.
that Missouri is proud of. It's a ratio.
The leader to follower number, just couldn't ask for a better thing in Missouri. But no, I want to talk to y'all about a little cult that took place. It's from a cult that's near and dear to my heart, which is the fundamentalist branch of the Church of Latter-day Saints, also known as FLDS, also known as like the people who still who make the Amish look bad by comparison. The Amish are like, no. Like we just don't like electricity, and we like, this vague steampunk aesthetic, basically. Like, leave us out of this. And then, the FLDS says, like, I want to, I'm going to say sex because I think rape might be too much of a trigger word. So I'm going to have sex with all of these like 11-year-old children because I think I'm the next prophet. And then I'm going to get mad when I find out that one of my child brides ends up wetting the bed. So it's crazy because that's the news that a prophet, while being interrogated by the FBI because he was basically running a pedophilia ring. Let's not, dress it up in overly religious terms. But yeah, it was a pedophile ring. Got upset because this child bride kept pissing the bed. Almost like she was like going through some kind of trauma and this was her body acting out in some kind of way.
Only we could pinpoint the horror in her life that has traumatized her in such a fashion.
The answer is, of course, secularism. That's the thing that really did it. It's not great because the kid was born in 2010 to give people a frame of reference here. And so I just wanted to say that this is a message, for any like child molesters and rapists and, Drake in particular, that you might want to try and remember these facts the next time you go courting someone's father, trying to trade her for a sheep or something like that.
It's really fucking unfortunate. One of the lines in here that the father of one of these young girls was, he expressed great anguish and was under extreme stress.
Of course he was.
And yet he remained a faithful follower. Like, if that doesn't pop you out of like the cult thing, I feel like you've like had to turn off too much.
Can we change the definition of cuck to mean that? Like, if you let your child get raped by a religious leader and then you stay in that guy's flock, like, that seems like the real definition of cucking.
Like
I feel like cucks have more dignity than
real cucks. Like, I mean, like, the word cuck,
there's consent involved in like adult sexual relations around that word. Like, this is what they want it to like mean when they say that as an insult on Twitter.
Yeah, like, you're probably the type of person to let this happen to your child.
If God himself parted the sky and came down all like googly-eyed spaghetti monster and was like, your child is going to bear the next savior from me, I'm at least taking a few shots at him. I'm gonna unload a magazine at him for that. You don't get to. No, this is Missouri. First off, I get that. That is well within my rights. Like,
yeah, 24-year-old Jesus rolls up straight out of the hardcore show that happened at the bar down the street.
Oh no! Oh no! Not groomer Jesus!
It's gonna take a couple miracles to get him into the front door. First of all, okay, Jesus bled. It's gonna be fucking Predator out there. Me fucking wiping his blood off the plants. He's close.
This is the
own a claymore for home defense. Is what I'm saying.
Let's see Jesus come back from this. They put holes in his hands and feet. Well, I'll put holes in the rest of him.
Badass lines to threaten Jesus with by Zach.
I'm making a booklet, okay?
The line is, I feared for my life and the safety of my family.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that would just like unlock like I joke about my Berserker heritage, but that would unlock the Berserker heritage.
Would it?
I feel like it would. I don't know, man. That's unfortunate that it didn't. And the fact that the FBI is basically going to get him for like
tax evasion or something,
human trafficking, I think. Because
it looks like they got.
Not only is it's not like. I don't know if they can legally do anything because he was just like having sex with the minor girls, but it's the fact that he transported them between Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and Nebraska.
Yeah, the big problem there is he drove really far. That's the real crime, apparently.
Yeah.
You wasted all that gas.
That's Buttigieg's issue with it. Like, you should have done it with a Tesla.
Yeah. Why didn't you spend $80,000? Yeah,
I'm gonna cry.
The real problem is he violated the mileage contract for the rental. Apparently, that's what they're gonna get him for. They're gonna make him pay that
take him down
$6 a gallon to refill the tank.
Progressive doesn't fuck around.
In this courtroom today, we, the representatives of Hertz Car Sales, would like the jury to find this man guilty of breaking our agreement in the pursuit of sex with minors. Now, I can't ask you to do anything about the second part, but the first part, we would like you to prosecute him to the full extent of the law.
It's frankly quite strange that I'm not asking you about the other part, if I'm being honest with myself.
I'm beginning to question my own career choices at this point. And, in that vein, if you would mind, it would certainly ease my conscience if you would force this man to pay the maximum fine of $73.
Now, you've heard of jury nullification, where even if you believe that he is guilty, that you can believe that the law is unjust, and you can thus clear him of his crime. I'm asking
why
you today,
would you say that to the jury?
I'm asking you today to unnullify this and to actually charge him for the maximum possible of anything. Because the law is not just enough. Thank you.
For the shits and giggles amount. We just want to figure some things out, Go medieval on his ass, as it were.
In the words of Jean-Luc Picard, we have no law to fit your crime. If you don't stick to the terms and conditions.
This is good. This is progress, right?
Definitely. Look, the FBI is not a failing organization that is incapable of stopping crime at any level.
We got one. You hear that?
I don't understand how these cults still exist. And
with like the internet existing.
And I just I understand. Okay, there's the psychology of how people get into a cult. There's the psychology of, mental and emotional abuse, etc. That's not what I'm making fun of. I don't understand how people can look fair. How
fucking people, losers. What the fuck?
How do people in the local community not just be like, Sheriff, can you? How about no?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm not in favor of it.
Hey, if my HOA can tell me what fucking color to paint my house, they can tell Jeffrey Dahmer down the street to stop murdering people.
Yeah,
you know?
the HOA seems real efficient. Before we even moved in, I got a nasty dream about my trash can outside.
Small government working wonders.
If states were half as worried about pedophilic sex cults as they are about the gender identity of students in their public school systems, we wouldn't have pedophilic sex cults. There are not that many. I don't believe there can be that many.
Zach, what if I were to tell you that as long as there are Republican congressmen and their staffs, there are going to be pedophile sex cults? Looking at you, Matt Gaetz, no one forgot. Your best friend killed himself recently instead of indicting you. You know, crazy how that kind of thing works out.
I just don't understand.
Ghislaine Maxwell's the only one that's been prosecuted after all the Jeffrey Epstein
for
shit.
selling things to no one. You know, crazy.
Well, that's awesome. What a good week of news.
That's horrifying.
That we've been having.
Just I don't know. I don't understand how we can't have a little bit more aggressive posture. I shouldn't say you can tell, but what I'm saying is you can kind of recognize these sorts of things because they have big tells, like say being a branch off of Warren Jeff's cult system. Like, come on. Go look into that. Go do the thing.
Go do the thing. Well, we
Go
talked
talk
about
to
how,
these
like,
guys.
homeschooling. Yeah, we talked about homeschooling's like expanding in specifically the state of Texas. And we both grew up with like weirdo fundamentalists. I guess we grew up knowing.
I grew up just fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
My uncle was a great lover.
Like Jesus, tender and mild.
Oh,
we grew up knowing about the weirdo fundies, but like it wasn't like we avoided that. But that's certainly like where a lot of people are going to end up finding themselves, especially in small town Texas. And you know, everyone wants to believe that it's just like the pop stars and the billionaires. But remember, billionaires are the 1%, and the sex cultists are not the 1%.
Yeah.
they're the ones.
Remember, billionaires have compounds too, okay? That's the important thing.
Island.
Just because they have enough money to
Allegedly.
defend it with lawyers. Literally, the guns are not enough. Guns are not enough to stop violence anymore. You have to have the money to pay the lawyers to stop the violence. If you have enough money, then you're untouchable.
Woo! Great note to end on.
Great note
Right?
to end on. I'm glad that nothing bad happened in Texas this week, and we can simply lay the blame on Montana and Nebraska for being the most fucked up states so far.
Yeah,
That's
man,
right.
I thought we had some bad stuff going on here, but man, I read that article that you put in there and just like my stomach turned. Just
That's what I bring to the show. So yes, thank you.
That or what did the cop do game, and so I'll take this one. Anyways, if you have an opinion about Nebraskans or Montanians, Montanarites, then you should send us an email at psychicdolphingarage@gmail.com or give us a call, leave us a voicemail at 512-402-2089.
That's right. And then also, y'all, we have adjusted our back catalog a little bit of previous episodes. And so what we've done is now we kind of have like the best of, so to speak, as labeled from the archives on our RSS feed. But all of the other episodes are still available on our YouTube. So for whatever reason you enjoy going back and listening to topical episodes from a year and a half ago, YouTube is still there for you. It'll all be fine. But for everything else and all of like the amazing guests that we've had, all of that kind of stuff, we have it right there. So should be a blast, hopefully.
Hell yeah. Phil,
thank you guys for letting me have a guest spot. It's been a while since I talked to you guys.
Yes, and we only talk via podcasting. That's the secret, because Zach and I, we don't talk to each other at all, except for stuff about the podcast, because we've kind of turned all social interaction into that, because fantasy football season is winding down, and frankly...
And I think I'm in the playoffs actually now, so we do have to talk again, but, you know...
It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't expect to make it this far. It's a terrible year in fantasy for me.
It is genuinely somewhat disturbing when the parasocial becomes slightly social.
Parasocial media. It's fine. Next week, we're going to have a fun story to tell y'all about an app that we're going to be doing, recording about tomorrow.
Everybody buy Dolphin Coin.
I wish that I could write an app like that, but I can't, and I won't.
Phil, what have you got to plug? Where can people find you? Do you even want to be found?
I don't really have anything to plug, to be honest. I just I don't do much.
I mean, again, so in that case, then I would just urge everyone to look into the history of the Mormon Church in Missouri. Maybe binge watch Under the Banner of Heaven. It has Andrew Garfield in it, and so could be a fun time for everyone to kind of figure out the horrors that existed in our country from not that long ago.
Yeah, it's amazing how you find those with just peeling back a layer or two.
You know, again, it's crazy because this far off history of your grandfather's grandfather, you know, just wild how that shit worked out.
All the way back to 1983.
It's 1984, as Josh Hawley is saying. God. It's all 1984. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Amarillo by morning. Up